looking at the East Chicago Washington.
Now let's present the two teams involved in this year's state championship basketball game. First, for East Chicago Washington.
East Chicago, the home team on the scoreboard, will wear white here tonight.
Number 34, David Comer.
He's 6'2" and a junior. These are not starters.
Number 35, Donald Newman.
Don Newman, a sophomore at 6'3".
Number 30, Nick Raskovich.
Nick Raskovich, 6'1" and a junior.
Number 22, Kevin Green.
Kevin Green, a senior, 5'11".
Number 31, Mark Bailey.
Junior Mark Bailey at 6'3".
Number 21, Curtis Lewis.
Curtis Lewis started the game this afternoon. He'll not start tonight.
Number 32, Sean O'Keefe.
Sean O'Keefe, 6'2" junior.
Now, here is the starting lineup for the Senators. At the guard positions, number 45, Darrell Bridgman.
Darrell Bridgman, 6'3" senior, started at forward, starts tonight at guard.
Number 20, Ezell Foster.
5'9" senior, Ezell Foster.
At center, number 44, Clement Murrell.
Clem Murrell, 6'6" senior.
At the forward positions, number 43, Robert Tyus.
Bob Tyus played some this afternoon, did not start. He's 6'4".
And number 33, Drake Morris.
Drake Morris, 37 points this afternoon, 84 in the semi-state and one
And the
game of
head
the final.
coach of the East Chicago Washington Senators, John Mullidet.
John Mullidet, right there.
Now let's introduce Carmel.
The Carmel Greyhounds next.
Number 25, David Bauer.
6'2" junior.
Number 45, Rick Sharp.
Rick Sharp at 6'3" and a sophomore.
Number 41, Rick Kotz. Number 31, John Sauls.
6'1" and a junior. Cox 5'10" and a senior.
Number 51, John Lake.
John Lake, 6'8" senior.
Number 23, Steve Shepard.
5'9" sophomore, Steve Shepard.
Number 55, Brian Green.
Brian Green, 6'3" junior, had 7 points this afternoon.
Now here is the starting lineup for the Greyhounds. At the guard positions, number 43, Bart Burrell.
6'2" senior, Bart Burrell, 17 this afternoon.
Number 21, Tim Wiley.
5'8" senior, scored 2 points in the afternoon game.
Number 53 at center, Paul Hensel.
He's 6'7" senior, had 12 points in the afternoon game, rebounded well.
At the forward positions, number 35, John Ogle.
6'4" senior, scored 6 in the afternoon contest.
And number 33, Mark Herman.
Mark Herman, 6'5" senior, scored 22 in the afternoon victory.
The head coach of the Carmel Greyhounds, Eric Clark.
And there's Eric Clark.
The officials for tonight's championship game, Eugene Lynn and Eric Harmon.
Eugene Lynn, Eric Harmon, the officials, and there they are. Hensel jumping against Clem Murrell. Murrell is 6'6", Hensel is 6'7". Gene Lynn get ready to toss the ball in the air, and we're underway. Controlled by Ezell Foster, limping a little bit. He turned his ankle or hurt his thigh early in the game this afternoon, but finished the rest of the way. Zone defense being used by the Carmel Greyhounds. Ezell Foster over the zone. It's good. So East Chicago Washington getting its first shot. That is 2-0 Senators. Tim Wiley against a modified press. They'll drop into a 1-3-1 zone as they have most of the season. Bart Burrell short, rebound on the bounce, and the whistle's blowing. A jump ball will be called. No basket. The scramble was for the loose ball and a jump ball. Clement Murrell and Paul Hensel, the two centers, will jump it off. 7:28 to go, first period, 2-0 East Chicago, Washington. controlled by Drake Morris. Morris made 15 out of 24 field goal attempts this afternoon. He's had 51 in one game against Hammond this year. Set an all-time record for the season. Foul will be charged. John Ogle draws the foul. Robert Tyus, TYUS, averages 6 points a game, 68% free thrower, goes to the line for two, played briefly in the afternoon game, did not start. Tyus, number 43. Misses two, rebound, Mark Herman. Carmel with the ball. Bart Burrell attacking now for the Greyhounds. Go to the weak side. Mark Herman shoots. It's deflected by Morris into the hands of Mark Herman. A bounce pass out in front. Turnaround shot. Burrell misses, but the whistle stopped play, and a foul is called by Eric Harmon, the outside official. Charge it to Darrell Bridgman.
Well, let's see if we can pick up the foul here, number 45. Came fast. Burrell was fouled in the act of shooting.
That's the first Carmel point of the game. 66% at the foul line this season. Scores two. Ties the game at 2. Ezell Foster on the attack. Darrell Bridgman playing alongside of him, 45. Greg Morris half court. Yes. 4-2. Mark Herman. Wiley, Herman half court, nice fake, goes in a stride. Here's his shot. He overshot it. Rebound inside. Ogle misses the shot. Rebound. Paul Hensel tied up by Clem Merle. Carmel Dick coming off the board fairly well early.
They got a big man in there to do it, Hensel.
6:29, first period. 4-2 Senators. Tip control, John Ogle passing in to Bart Burrell. It is blocked. Foul. Charge it to Darrell Bridgman. That's his second.
Burrell makes a nice move on this one, and Bridgman, after he was beaten by the movement of Burrell, fouls him from over the shoulder right there.
Bart Burrell, 6'2" and a senior, averages 11 points a game. Scores, that's his third in a row. He had 17 in the afternoon victory over Columbus East. Tied at 4. Ezell Foster. Lob pass, Morris. Alley-oop play, it's good. So Drake Morris puts East Chicago Washington in front, 6-4. 6 minutes, 5 seconds to go, first period. Wiley. Good defense by East Chicago. Wild pass. Wiley threw it away. Bart Burrell started toward the center of the court, and Wiley led him down the sideline, and it's a turnover, gives the ball to East Chicago Washington. The first turnover of this basketball game for the Indiana State Championship at Market Square Arena, Indianapolis. We're happy to have you along our network lines tonight. Ezell Foster on the fake. Bridgman misses. Rebound. Drake Morris goes up and misses it. Rebound batted out. Kept alive by Darrell Bridgman to Ezell Foster. And the alley-oop play got away as Drake Morris fell down. That's that lob pass. Bill Walton, of course, did it at UCLA. 6-4, East Chicago. Got the scoreboard reversed tonight. They have East Chicago as the visiting team. They're the home team. Herman missed it. Rebound. Kept alive by East Chicago's 43, Bob Tyus. Bridgman. Drake Morris knocked away and out of bounds. It'll be Carmel's ball as Drake Morris, a candidate for Mr. Basketball in Indiana, went off the knee, and it's out of bounds as time is taken. Bart Burrell may be wearing contacts. He acted like he was trying to adjust the contact in his right eye. Maybe he was just hit in the eye. Senators 6-4. Carmel on the attack. Ogle Bart Burrell. And as he tries to go up, foul will be charged against East Chicago, Washington. Charge the foul to Ezell Foster, team foul number 3, and 2 more free throws for Bart Burrell.
All right, Burrell with the ball goes up. There's Foster, and Foster got him across the wrist. As a matter of fact, he was hit twice.
Well, they ruled he was not in the act of shooting, and that's true. He was going up to make the pass underneath. We're back live now at Market Square. Ogle sends the ball out. It is to Wiley, broken up by Morris. Right back to Wiley. Drake Morris almost broke up that play. Herman, yes, on a long one. Ties it up at 6. Mark Herman with his first field goal. He was only 8 out of 25 this afternoon, had 22 points. Around the zone they go. Morris, long shot. Got it. Well, he goes inside or outside. He did not go outside this afternoon. That's the longest shot he's taken today. 8-6, East Chicago. Washington on defense. Deflected, intercepted. Bridgman, Ezell Foster. Underneath, Robert Tyus. He misses, but a foul to Paul Hensel. That's his first foul, his second against Carmel of the game. And to the line, as we look at it again.
Hensel right there goes in to get the shot, stops it, but he fouled to stop it. Paul Hensel, he's a big one, 6'7". He may have saved 2 points there.
Robert Tyus is 0 for 2 at the foul line tonight. He has 2 more. 0 for 3. His stats are good at the foul line this year, 68%. It's about the team percentage. He gets this one. And it is 9-6. East Chicago putting some pressure on the basketball. Mark Herman to the foul line. Scores again. That's his second field goal. It's 9-8. The Senators lead. Carmel Greyhounds lost their last regularly scheduled game substantially and come back now to have a winning streak going. Ezell Foster scores on the outside, his second field goal. Runs the count to 11-8. East Chicago's playing a 1-3-1 zone, but Ezell Foster puts pressure in the backcourt. Not too much. Mark Herman, Tim Wiley, East Chicago, good moving zone. The bounce pass is to Hensel. His shot is not good. Rebound is to Bart Burrell. He goes out and misses the shot. Rebound, Tim Burrell down court to Robert Tyus. Drake Morris has 668 points with 6 more tonight. Bridgman cut off by Paul Hensel. Ezell Foster, good. Third field goal for Foster, and East Chicago breaks to a 13-8 lead, a 5-point margin, their biggest lead at 2:50 of the first quarter. Good defense by East Chicago, Washington. Mark Herman, hustling defense. They move a lot. Now they're going to try to trap the man with the ball. That leaves Herman open. Mark takes the shot and got it. That's his third field goal. And he's hit well outside. 13-10 at 2.5 minutes of the first period. Ezell Foster. Drake Morris into the pivot. Merle scores. Clem Merle. First field goal. 5-point margin again for the Senators of East Chicago. 2 championships for this high school. Deflected out of bounds, Darrell Bridgman. Playing guard tonight, played forward this afternoon. There he is. There's Eugene Lynn, one of the 2 officials. And John Ogle inbounds the ball to Tim Wiley. 2-minute mark. Half court, Herman in and out. And the whistles are blowing. Foul. Charge it. Robert Tyus, his first, team foul number 4. And Mark Herman, a good free thrower, goes to the line, and we look at it again.
Ball comes over there in the far corner, and it looked like it came after the shot, and I think it did. So had he made it, the basket would have counted, then he would have got a free throw.
Inbound as Carmel goes inside Hensel to Burrell. He scores it. I think that's a set out-of-bounds play, and it worked to perfection. 15-12. Less than 2 minutes now. 1:45. First period. Drake Morris misses it. Rebound. Mark Herman in traffic. Long pass down. Bart Burrell. He's driving. Goes in. Scores. 15-14. East Chicago by 1. As you look at the Carmel cheering section and the scoreboard with 1:20 to go. 15-14 is Chicago by 1. Ezell Foster, Drake Morris. They converge on him with the zone. Back to Foster to Darrell Bridgman. Cross court. Drake Morris. Tyus misses the shot. Rebound, John Ogle. What a way to go in the first period, and now Carmel, if they can execute here, could take the lead. Mark Herman fakes the long shot, returns the ball to Wiley. Burrow, Hensel, weak side. Herman fakes, goes up, hurried the shot, missed it. Rebound, controlled by Darrell Bridgman. They have a chance to pad their lead now at 50 seconds. Darrell Bridgman, crowd on the Carmel side thought he traveled. Ezell Foster, Darrell Bridgman. Weak side. Morris, the shot was blocked by Bart Burrell, and a foul will be called on Tim Wiley. That's the third team foul against Carmel. Now they're going to call it the other way. They call the foul on Clement Merle.
Here it is again. See if you can see it. Right there is the block shot by Morris. 3 men going for the ball, and it looked like maybe Merle was trying to clear a path out of there and push both Carmel players away.
Wiley, 59% at the foul line this season. It's in and out, not good. Drake Morris losing the ball. It's Carmel's ball. Now they have a chance to take the lead with 36 seconds to go in the first period. Inbounded by John Ogle. Looks for Herman, finds him, marks in the corner, bounce past Hensel, right back to Ogle, and it's out of bounds again, deflected by East Chicago, Washington. 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 15-14 East Chicago. Ogle, Herman, Wiley, Tim Wiley with the ball against a 1-3-1 zone. That should open up the baseline, and Carmel has probed the baseline a little bit for a couple of field goals tonight. Now they're going to wind down the clock, 20 seconds to go. They're down by 1. 17-16 for the state championship this is. Bart Burrell, 11, 10. Wiley, 8, 7 seconds. Mark Herman looks over the clock, 5 seconds. Herman shot blocked, picked up by Wiley. Here's the shot, he missed it. And there's the buzzer at the end of the first quarter. The score is Chicago, Washington 15, the Carmel Greyhounds 14. Drake Morris with 6, Clem Merle 2, Ezell Foster 6, Robert Tyus 1 for the Senators, Mark Herman 6 for Carmel, and the other 8 have been contributed by Bart Burrell. 2 men have done all the scoring for Carmel. Clem Merle and Paul Hensel shake hands, ready to start the second 8-minute bracket. 1 point lead for East Chicago, Washington. Controlled by Herman. Bart Burrell right back to Mark Herman, knocked away. Good quick hands for East Chicago, Washington, breaking up the play. A new man in the lineup, 21, is Kurt Lewis. He played and started this afternoon's game. Robert Tyus comes out. So now Darrell Bridgman goes to play forward. And he has the ball right now. Bridgman shot. He missed it. Rebound. Bridgman got a good rebound. He goes up from the baseline. Misses it. Rebound. Drake Morris. He got it. 4 field goals for Morris. 40 points is the record for the championship game. Mark Herman. Tim Wiley. Mark Herman looking inside. They're cutting off Hensel, though. He's roaming the baseline, but they can't get the ball to him. They go weak side, now baseline, and here is Hensel. Ogle missing. Rebound on the bounce. It's picked up by Herman, and he's fouled. Kurt Lewis draws the foul, and Mark Herman will get 2.
Herman was fouled right over the shoulder on this one. He's got it underneath, Herman's got it underneath, and there's the foul from behind by Lewis.
Herman went 6 for 6 at the foul line this afternoon. 85% free thrower, the best in the ball club, and the best on the floor. The 8 points. And it is 17-16. East Chicago, Washington on top by 1. early in the second period. Darrell Bridgman against his own defense. Curtis Lewis, Darrell Bridgman. Kurt Lewis, Ezell Foster. Curtis Lewis, Foster. Trying to get that ball into Greg Morris, but they're double teaming him. Hensel behind and Ogle in front of him. They have a man on either side. Looks like a human sandwich there for a minute. Here's Chicago with the lead, playing it deliberately. The alley-oop, it is not good. And let's see how they call it. A foul will be on John Ogle, his second. And Drake Morris already has 8 points, had 37 this afternoon. Shoots 2. He was 7 out of 9 at this stripe in the afternoon contest. Goes for the 18th point and gets it. 18-16. Ezell Foster picking him up just over the division line. Good defense by Chicago, Washington. Mark Herman looking inside. He is to John Ogle. He scores. First field goal for Ogle. That is a vulnerable spot in the 1-3-1 zone of the baseline. And now Mongo Green will enter for Carmel in a moment. Greg Morris, Clem Merle, Curtis Lewis, Ezell Foster. They move around, as you see, the edge of the zone. It's a 2-3 zone. Good fake. Morris, not good. Rebounds. He got the rebound. Harry Clark is screaming that Morris traveled on that play. And it is 20-18. Here's Chicago. They go weak side, and it is Ogle missing. Rebound pulled off by Darrell Bridgman. Eric Clark is up again, thinking that East Chicago had traveled on that play. Greg Morris on the left corner for a change. 5 minutes, 5 seconds to go. Timeout will be taken by East Chicago, Washington. We'll return with more action from Market Square Arena. Ready to resume play, East Chicago, Washington. I don't think Maladette was very happy with the way the team was moving the ball to the outside and not penetrating. And so he called timeout, and he wants to make some adjustments. Mongo Green is in for Carmel. A 205-pounder. He's playing the baseline near the right corner as we look toward the offensive board. Drake Morris, it's short. Rebound, Paul Hensel. They put Drake Morris right out in front of the hoop there, and he had an 8-footer and was not able to convert it. 20-18, East Chicago by 2. They go baseline to Mongo Green. Back out to Tim Wiley. Hensel gets position off the 3-second zone. Nobody roaming the baseline now. Green comes across the foul lane. Inside, you may have seen him there, 55. Wiley. Mark Herman to the outside. Now they go baseline. Green scores the alley-oop play. Ties up the game at 20. Darrell Bridgman, East Chicago, Washington. Ezell Foster. Drake Morris got it. This lad is uncanny. Has so much natural talent. He was in front of the hoop the second time in a row. He missed the first shot, but he got the second one. Breaks the tie. 22-20. Senators long shot. Herman in and out. Rebound Green. Not good. Rebound Green. Passes back out to Bart Burrell. He's crowded. Feeds Mark Herman. Nice fake. He goes up and banks it in. Uses the glass. Ties it up at 22. 3:37, first half. Ezell Foster. Rebound, Paul Hensel. Tim Wiley. 3:25 to go in the second. A weak side now to Mark Herman. Wiley. Wild pass. He was expecting Bart Burrell to go to the corner while he was, and he threw it away. That's the 4th turnover for Carmel against only 2 as you look at the Carmel bench. 22-22, 3:07 to go in the first half. Drake Morris gets another one. He now has 15 points and breaks the tie and puts East Chicago Washington in the lead by 2. Green. Rebound. Herman. The whistles are blowing, and Morris is called for the foul. He may have been holding Mark Herman.
Green takes the shot from the far corner. Underneath. Morris goes banging into Herman, trying to get the ball. Well, not really banging. He sort of slid by him, just gently brushed him.
They put Paul Hensel, and it is not Mark Herman. The free throw is good. Paul Hensel on the strike. This goes for the tie. He misses it. Rebound, Clem Merle. Curtis Lewis, Darrell Bridgman, Kurt Lewis, Ezell Foster. Clem Merle from the foul line. Missed it. Rebound. Mongo Green. 24-23 in favor of East Chicago. Washington, 2:18 to go. And the ball is deflected as a pass went in too hard, but coming back out with the ball is Mark Herman, and traveling call on Mark Herman. Turnover number 5 to the Carmel Greyhounds. 2:10 remaining in the first half. Ezell Foster to the zone, shooting over it. He missed it. Rebound. Mark Herman, long pass down to Bart Burrow. Foster coming up, he makes the score. Bart Burrow. Burrow getting up very slowly, turned his left angle. 25-24 Carmel. Burrow just coming back inside. It's back out to Morris, and it is good, and a foul will be charged to the play. Drake Morris scores, and timeout will be taken by the Carmel Greyhounds. The foul is on Paul Hensel, number 2. Timeout. There'll be more action at Marcus Square Arena in a moment. The score is East Chicago Washington 26, Carmel 25. 26-25, East Chicago Washington. You got my book money. That's mine. Line is Drake Morris. 1 for 2 at the line. It's a possible three-point play, and he does not get it. Paul Hensel rebounds. He has 17 points. Drake Morris has. 1:40 to go. We're in the first half. East Chicago leads it by 1. Wiley short. Rebound, Curtis Lewis, and he moved his pivot foot. He tried to stop. And that turnover is only the 3rd one of the game for East Chicago Washington. Not many errors by the Senators. Comes into Tim Wiley of Carmel. Bart Burrow. Wiley. Bart Burrow. Green is on the baseline, trying to get him set up. 1:16, it goes to Green. Green fakes, goes up, and hit it out and good. Rebound, Hensel blocked, and the next rebound is controlled by Curtis Lewis. Excellent defensive rebounding by East Chicago. Drake Morris took a bad shot coming down to Tim Wiley for East Chicago with a minute to go in the first half. Mark Herman. Bart Burrow. East Chicago, Washington by 1. Brian Green against this 1-3-1 zone. Hensel. And the ball is kicked. It'll be out of bounds to Carmel. 42 seconds. Eric Clark is shouting words of instruction. We can hear we're a little bit closer to his bench than we are in Chicago, Washington. 30 seconds. Herman just standing there with the ball. That was Bart Burrow, I beg your pardon. 20 seconds to go. 17. Mark Herman, weak side pass, foul will be charged against East Chicago, Washington, as Paul Hensel went across the line. They're going to call it on Hensel. Correction, it's on Paul Hensel. His 3rd.
Well, let's see. Hensel didn't believe it. Let's see if he did commit the foul. Yeah, he could have reached right over the back trying to get that ball. It wasn't a good thrown pass at all.
That's right. The pass was poor, and John Ogle comes in for Paul Hensel. 12 seconds remaining, and Curtis Lewis to the stripe. He scored 2 this afternoon, and only a 45% free thrower on the season. 1+1. He got it. So it is 27-25, East Chicago, Washington. The Senators by 2, maybe 3. He gets a pair. Bart Burrow running all right on that bad ankle, the left one. It is to Mark Herman. Herman down the line, feeds it off, and laying up is Brian Green. 28-27, 1 second, the ball is thrown, it just misses, and that's the end of the first half for the score, East Chicago, Washington. 28, where we're having a fine championship basketball game between East Chicago, Washington, the Senators, and the Carmel Greyhounds. It's a one-point ball game, of course, in favor of East Chicago, Washington, 28-27. Carmel has never led in the first half. They had it tied twice at 20-20 and 22-22. The scoring in the first half for East Chicago, Washington Senators, Drake Morris with 17. Darrell Bridgman did not score. Clem Merle with 2. Ezel Foster in the first period with 6. They were outside shots from about 20 feet. Robert Tice with a free throw, and Curtis Lewis with 2 free throws in the closing seconds of the second period here at Indianapolis. Now for Carmel Greyhounds, Mark Herman had 10 points, John Ogle 2, Paul Hensel with 1, Tim Wiley did not score, Bart Burrow with 10, and Brian Mongo Green getting 4 points coming off the bench in the second period of this basketball game tonight. The personal foul column, not very black for East Chicago, Washington. Drake Morris with only 1, Darrell Bridgman with 2, Clem Merle with 1, Ezel Foster with 1, Robert Tice with a personal foul, and Curtis Lewis with 1. For the Carmel Greyhounds, the story on the fouls is that Paul Hensel, their big center, is riding with 3 personal fouls now. In fact, Carmel has only fouled 5 times. The other 2 have been charged to John Ogle. So it's 2 for Ogle and 3 for Paul Hensel. 28, Carmel on top for the first time. 7:40 to go, third period. Zone defense by the Carmel Greyhounds. He's Al Foster into the pivot. Clem Merle goes up, got it. Merle gets it right back. 30-29. Tim Wiley against this 1-3-1 zone. They go weak side. Mark Herman going into Mongo Green, passing off, going up, shooting and scoring. That'll be Bart Burrow. 12 points for Burrow, and it's 31-30 Carmel. Here's Al Foster. Darrell Bridgman. Back to Bridgman. Bridgman shot. Yes. It's his first field goal of the game, and now the lead is rocking back and forth. 32-31. They go weak side. Bart Burrow, and foul will be charged to Curtis Lewis, and Burrow went down hard. He's smiling. I think he's okay. It'll be out of bounds to Bart Burrow. Will be handed the ball by Eugene Lynn. We're ready to go. Mark Herman. Herman has scored only 1 field goal and 2 free throws since the first period. Wiley. Mark Herman. Half court. Yes! You may have heard me. 12 points. 33-32. Long pass down, got away. They tried that long lead jump pass to Drake Morris, and it got away for the turnover. That's the first turnover for either team in the second half. Tim Wiley. Mark Herman. Whistles blow. Foul will be charged against East Chicago. Now they're going to call it the other way. Now there's some confusion. They called it on 33, and they're going to give the ball out of bounds. Yes, they're going to give it to Drake Morris. Charge the foul to Drake Morris. That's his second. Wiley. Herman. Green. Notice how they trap the man with the ball, East Chicago. Good working zone defense. Carmel has the lead. They can be patient. There's that trap, and they just got the ball off to Mark Herman. Lob pass, Green deflected out of bounds, knocked out by Drake Morris. 5:38, third period. 33-32, Carmel Greyhounds by 1. Mark Herman. Got to put him in the vise. John Ogle. Green, Mongo goes up, no basket. It is not caught. I think a foul will be called before the shot. It'll be charged to Ezell Foster, his second. And we pause 5 seconds for station identification. Back inbounds to Tim Wiley. Again, they're trying to trap him. It's John Ogle. Carmel's lead is 1 with 5:14 to go on the third. Mark Herman. It is Wiley thrown to Ogle. Picked up by Merle. Now this is Ezell Foster knocked away. And reaching in the foul, John Ogle, his third. So 2 men have committed all the fouls for Carmel in the game.
All right, watch you. See if Ogle fouls him. He moves, he gets position. It looked like Ogle had position. But Gene Lynn said no.
Inbounds, Darrell Bridgman. 31, Mark Bailey has got in for East Chicago, Washington. Merle is out for the moment. They can rest him because Hensel, the big man, is out of the game for Carmel at the moment. Bridgman short. And a baseline foul. That is a violation of the baseline. When the ball was touched, the East Chicago Washington man was on the baseline as he came off the board. Bart Burrow drops the ball, goes back and recovers it. Good tight defense by East Chicago Washington. They've gone man-to-man. They've given up the 1-3-1 zone. They're down by a point. They're going to play man-to-man to try to get back in the lead. Ogle shot. It's good. John Ogle. Second field goal, 35-32. Carmel's biggest lead of the game. East Chicago has had a 5-point lead. That's been their biggest margin. Mark Bailey intercepted by John Ogle. The pass was soft to Darrell Bridgman. 4:10 to go, third period. Mark Herman for the Greyhounds. Wiley. John Ogle looking weak side. Green. Green goes up. Missed it. Rebound, Drake Morris. Morris on the dribble. Marvelous athlete. Fluid movements. Here is his shot. Wow. 19 for Drake Morris. 35-34. As you look at the Carmel bench. 3.5 minute mark of the third. Carmel's lead is down to 1. They're back in the zone. The Chicago Washington back in the zone. Mark Herman, Tim Wiley. Herman, back to Tim Wiley. Ezell Foster putting pressure. Mark Herman passing to Green. Green in traffic. It's good. 8 points for Brian Green. 37-34 Carmel. Timeout will be taken by East Chicago, Washington. Out of bounds, the Senators, midcourt far side. Eric Harmon will hand the ball to Kurt Lewis. And we go. Ezell Foster against the zone. Foster's jump shot. It's good. They had a pick for him, and he made the basket. He has 8 points. It's a 1-point Carmel Greyhound lead. Ezell Foster putting pressure on Tim Wiley. There's a collision. Offense. Tim Wiley. First foul of the game for him. Charging violation to Tim Wiley. All
right, it's one-on-one situation. There's a charge right there, and Foster hits the deck.
Inbounds to Foster. 2:28 of the third. Is Chicago-Washington with a chance to take the lead in this sequence. Long shot, Foster, missed it. Rebound, John Ogle, and Merle ties him up. Merle will jump it off with John Ogle. Remember, Carmel playing out with their big man, Paul Hensel. He's on the bench at the moment. Controlled by Chicago-Washington. Ezell Foster. They're down by one. Greg Morris on the outside. Back to Morris. Foster. Deflected, it goes, and saved by Ezell Foster just before it went out of bounds or over the division line. Merle, I thought the official was a teammate, apparently. He went in the air and he saw something on the right side and he threw it away. Eugene Lynn was there and he's got the wrong color suit. Green, Bart Burrow, 1:45 to go, third period, Carmel by one, 37-36. Mark Herman. Herman down the lane, he goes up, misses the shot, foul Clement Merle.
Clem says, no, that wasn't a foul. Watch it, ref, he says on slow play here. Beautiful shot right there. That was a little difficult to tell whether he did foul him or not. Clem may have a point.
Well, he gets 2 free throws. That is 12 points for Mark Herman. Free throw is good. 13. He's made 9 straight free throws today. And now 10. 4 tonight, 6 this afternoon. 39-36. A 3-point lead for the Carmel Greyhounds. 93 seconds to go. We're in the third. And Merle got it. 6 points for Merle. 39-38. Carmel by one, and we have a thriller for the state championship in Indianapolis. Man-to-man defense by Chicago-Washington. They try to trap the man with the ball. Mark Herman has it now. Very tight man-to-man defense by Chicago-Washington. It is to Green. Green turnaround shot. A bad shot, but Wiley rebounds. Ogle, yes! 6 points for Ogle, 41-38, the Carmel Greyhounds. Ezell Foster. Curtis Lewis against the zone. 48 seconds in the third. Ezell Foster turned around short. Rebound. There's a collision and 2 players go down. And the foul will be charged. Foul will be charged to Clem Merle, his third. The Chicago foul. Let's look at it again.
Watch number 44 in the white.
Well, we're a little late. As you look at Eric Clark, we may get that replay queued up again. Let's look at it again.
44 in the white. Boom. Now, they all go for the ball, and it's hard to tell who did foul on that one.
Well, it is Bart Burrell who takes the free throw with 1+1, leading by 3, and he gets it. He's 5 out of 6 at the foul line and 13 points. He had 17 in the afternoon victory. 44 seconds. Carmel's biggest lead right now is 43-38. The Chicago-Washington Senators with the ball. 39 seconds to go. Ezell Foster, Clem Merle's long shot. He missed it. Rebound is tipped back to the outside. It is thrown to the sideline by Ezell Foster and out of bounds. The turnover gives the ball to the Carmel Greyhounds. The Carmel fans behind us are ecstatic at the moment. Man-to-man defense. This is Bart Burrell behind the back dribble. Phil Bridgman reporting for East Chicago, Washington. John Ogle with 22 seconds. Bounce pass, Bart Burrell. Bounce passing to Wiley. Foul will be called. It'll be Ezell Foster, his third.
2 little men out there fighting for control of the ball. All right, Wiley has it.
Well, you saw Foster cut him off. He stepped in front of him and just cut off his path, and Tim Wiley goes to the line. He has no points tonight. 1+1 here. It's good. 59% free thrower on the season. And it is 44-38. Carmel, 16-second mark of the third. Missed it, rebounded by Drake Morris. Ezell Foster, 12 seconds. Now 10. 7, 6, and traveling called on Ezell Foster. He moved his pivot foot. The turnover, the fourth of the second half and seventh of the game for the Senators. Gives the ball back to Carmel, and they lead by 6. And it goes in, and foul on Foster. Ezell Foster fouled Tim Wiley, and that's number 4 on Foster, and he walked right over to the bench. Tim Wiley on the line. 1 for 3 at the strap. Into the lineup, 31, Mark Bailey for Foster. And that's his 4th foul, officially 2. It's bounding good. (45-38) Carmel in the waiting moments of the third. 4 seconds remaining. Another one. 46-38. Long shot by Bridgman is not good. At the buzzer. And the Carmel Greyhounds lead at the end of 3. 46-38. 46-38. The biggest lead either team has had, 8 points, enjoyed now by the Carmel Greyhounds. And we're set. It is batted into the backcourt. Ezell Foster back in, has the ball, and it's deflected into the hands of Bart Burrell. A foul on Clem Merle, his 4th. So 2 starters on East Chicago have picked up 4 fouls. Merle knew that he had committed this one, but he tried to stop himself. There he runs right into him, and he couldn't do a thing. Clem throws his hands up. Ooh. Bart Burrell is 6 out of 7 at the line as you look at the Carmel cheer block. 46-38. 1 plus 1. Bart Burrell, yes. 15 points for this guard. 47-38. It is 48-38. Carmel by 10 last period. Ezell Foster. Back to Foster. Long shot over Merle. He missed it. Rebound Morris knocked away. And it is caught by Mark Herman on the rebound for Carmel. 20 seconds gone in the final stanza. Mark Herman for the Carmel Greyhounds. The Cinderella team of this tournament. They'd lost 7 going in. Cross court, Mark Herman as East Chicago's in a zone, and Carmel may play a little keep away, wind down the clock, and force East Chicago out of that zone. 7:15, weak side pass deflected into the hands of Burrell. He missed the shot. Rebound is controlled by Ezell Foster. Foster on the fast break. But he slows it down. He turns it toward the corner, as you see. Mark, here's the pass into the pivot. It is beautiful play by Drake Morris. 21 points for Morris. It is 48-40. 6:50 to go. We have a thriller going for the state championship. Tim Wiley, bounce pass. Mark Herman, weak side. Bart Burrell. Burrell on the drive. Whistle blows. Cut-off foul. Will charge to Kurt Lewis. That's his 3rd. So Bart Burrell right to the foul line for the Carmel Greyhounds. Carmel is 21-7. East Chicago, Washington, 24-3. They lost 2 games back-to-back in the middle of the season to Anderson and to Ballard, Kentucky. Free throw is missed. Rebound, Mark Herman draws the foul. That's his 1st of the game. And Pete also wants a time, so does John Maladette. And so there is timeout. We'll return. East Chicago inbounds the ball. It'll be inbounded by Kurt Lewis. to Ezel Foster playing with 4, and Clement Merle playing with 4. Foster hurries it down. Lewis, Darrell Bridgman, outside shot, and the whistles are blowing. Foul on an offensive block, charged at Drake Morris, his 3rd of the game. An illegal screen by Drake Morris.
Let's see if we can catch it here. There's Morris trying to set up the block. He gets an elbow or two out there to clear the way. Burrow thought maybe there might have been a foul called on him on that particular play, but he's the man that's getting the shot.
1+1 for Carmel's Bart Burrow. He missed it. Rebound Drake Morris of East Chicago, Washington. Darrell Bridgman. Ezel Foster over the top. He missed it. Rebound Drake Morris. He misses it. Rebound tipped in by Clem Merle. 8 points for Merle. And it's now a 48-42 lead at 6:10. Not quite 2 minutes gone in the final period. Mark Herman going baseline. Cut off. Passes to Tim Wiley. John Ogle. Mark Herman. John Ogle again, trying to get inside. Man-to-man defense. This is Green. Green misses the shot. Rebounded by Ezel Foster. The Chicago, Washington flying down. He's Merle. Merle shot. Yes. He's hit 2 in a row. 10 points. 48-44. 6 consecutive points scored by East Chicago, Washington. And Paul Hensel will go in for the Carmel Greyhounds. Man-to-man defense. Aggressively by East Chicago, Washington. Bart Burrell is called for the charge. Number 1 on Burrell.
Here's Burrell against Morris. Burrell starting his drive. There's Morris standing right there. Wham! Right into Mr. Drake Morris.
And Bart Burrell is limping again on that left ankle. He re-injured it on that collision. The charge gives the ball to East Chicago, Washington. They were down 48-38 in the first 30 seconds of the final period. Ezel Foster, Darrell Bridgman, back to Foster. Curtis Lewis, Ezel Foster, short, rebound. Bart Burrell of Carmel. 5 minutes to go in the game. It is 48-44, Carmel on top by 4. Man-to-man defense being used by East Chicago, Washington. It's Mark Herman jumping it. He tried to bank it in, misses the shot, and a foul has been called underneath on Clem Merle, and Merle may have fouled out here. Clem Merle fouls out of the game. He had the last 2 field goals. He finishes with 10 points. Let's look at the departure of Clem Merle.
Number 44, Merle going for the ball. Still going for the ball. Well, I don't know. He must have pushed off, but it had to be awful sneaky if I didn't quite see it.
John Ogle will be on the stripe. First time tonight. He has 6 points. 48-44. He's out in front with 4:49 to go. It's good. 49-44, and he's going for 50. He misses it. Rebound by 35 with just one of the game. Don Newman replacing Clem Merle. Don Newman is 35. Ezel Foster playing with 4 fouls. 4:38 remaining. Darrell Bridgman, Ezel Foster, Drake Morris, and there's no basket. There was a foul as Paul Hensel, who just went back into the lineup, gets foul number 4. And that'll bring Green back in. Here's the play again.
They're trying to get Morris loose. Morris along the baseline gets the pass, and Hensel goes right into him, trying to protect the ball from getting into Morris, but he made body contact.
But Drake Morris is 1 out of 3 at the 15-foot stripe tonight. It's perfect. 22 points for Drake Morris, 37 this afternoon. He gets a pair. And it's 49-46, a 3-point lead for Carmel as East Chicago, Washington is putting tremendous pressure on the Greyhounds now. It was 48-38. Green, Mark Herman, Wiley. .410 to go. Wiley. Brian Green to the outside. They're trying to isolate somebody. And traveling call on Mark Herman, who seems to be a little bit tired right now. 4 minutes. And East Chicago down by 3 has a chance to cut it. Ezell Foster. Greg Morris, it is not good. Rebound controlled. John Ogle. Wiley. Brian Green. Wiley. And Carmel is going to call timeout as Eric Clark wants to talk to his ball club and get some things straightened out. After Carmel led 48-38, they've scored 1, while East Chicago Washington has tallied 8. So they've been outscored 8-1.
I think Eric also wants to give his team a little bit of a rest now because these regulars played most of the game today. This afternoon, East Chicago Washington able to substitute a little more freely than Carmel did. As Hilliard just pointed out, Herman breathing pretty heavily now, and he may be tiring out there. Hensel's had a rest, but Paul went in there and got his 4th foul very quickly, so he's got to be careful out there. East Chicago Washington has already lost one of their big men, Clem Merle, the center. Clem had 12 points tonight before fouling out. So the ball game may boil down to now who has the most stamina. 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Quite a lot of time remaining, with only 3 points separating the two clubs, and Carmel holding the advantage by 3. They've won their last 8 ball games. East Chicago Washington has won their last 13. Carmel had the worst record. We hate to say worst record. They didn't have the most impressive record coming into the Final Four. They had lost 7 games. East Chicago Washington had lost only 3. Time back in, Hilliard.
Inbounded at midcourt by Bart Burrow right near the division line. And putting pressure on. Now they want John Ogle to inbound the ball. That puts Bart Burrow, a better dribbler, on the court for the inbound pass if he gets the ball. It is affected by Greg Morris. Morris coming down. He dumps the ball. Sensational play by Drake Morris. Cuts the lead to 1, 49-48, with 3 minutes and 34 seconds to go. Carmel could not inbound the ball successfully. Let's see if they can now. It is to Tim Wiley. Ezell Foster on him. 3.5 minute mark of the final period. It's a 1-point lead for the Carmel Greyhounds over East Chicago Washington. Mark Herman dribbling it around. Greg Morris is on him, and a foul is called on Mark Herman for charging.
Morris getting good position on Herman, letting him move parallel, and then Herman just dipped that left shoulder and sort of banged into Morris. So it's a foul on him.
That's the 15th foul against Carmel. Everything else will be a shooting foul except an offensive foul, of course.